No one has to actually face more danger or more sense of danger than they can bear in order to experience healing, in order to experience relief, in order to experience clarification. Divine love always appears to you in the language of your present awareness. It does not require you to stand taller than you feel capable of. The Holy Spirit, your divinity held in trust while you dally with the ego, has the means of disclosing to you that which will reduce fear and promote healing, even if it's not the ultimate truth. This is also very important for you to understand. There are times that I have been accused of not being consistent. From a conversation with one person at one time and a conversation with someone else at another time, apparently talking about the same subject. But the fact is that the truth was presented to each of them in language that allowed for the greatest inner movement to occur, because it didn't raise their level of fear, but reduced it. Let's continue.
The value of the atonement does not lie in the manner in which it is expressed. In fact, if it is used truly, it will inevitably be expressed in whatever way is most helpful to the receiver. This means that a miracle, to attain its full efficacy, must be expressed in a language that the recipient can understand without fear.
And I'm going to stop you there. And how are you going to know what that is? Without going through a full psychological evaluation of the person you're speaking to. You're going to have to assume that you don't know. You're going to have to even acknowledge that you don't know. And you're going to have to be willing to allow for the fact that you personally don't need to know, so that you might abandon all attempts to know on your own and take the time to become still within yourself and ask, what do I need to say? What is the appropriate response? What would you say, Father? Or ask the Holy Spirit, or ask your guide, or ask me. And then, because you don't know what the appropriate response should be, you share the response you get. And what you get in one circumstance might be, sit down, close your mouth, and be still for a moment. Which might not sound gentle or loving or pacifying. But for that individual, it will be perfect. Because that individual is feeling very scattered, very disconnected, very unstable, and needs direction at that very moment. Clear, simple direction to follow so that that individual can become disentangled from all of the confusion. Oh, somebody else might look at that and say, oh, you're being very controlling. How can that be healing? You see. When the fact is that it's not control at all, it's the presentation of that which meets the need for someone who at the moment doesn't have the inner strength and discipline to provide those simple directions for themselves. So sometimes what you end up saying won't sound sweet. And other times, where the circumstances might seem to be quite the same, and you are dealing with an unruly individual, what you might find yourself saying is, I love you, and walking up and giving a hug, even though the individual has been displaying aggressive physical characteristics. And that will be what helps that one to soften, settle down, become quiet, and accomplish or end up doing what the words sit down, shut up, you see. And this takes trust. But if you don't dare to inquire, if you don't dare to turn to the altar and make your connection there, then firmness or softness expressed is just a manipulation arising out of ignorance and one's best assumption of what will work. And without the unction of love, there will be no transformation. You will not be a real agent for change. Continue.
This does not necessarily mean that this is the highest level of a communication of which he is capable. It does mean, however, that it is the highest level of communication in which he is capable now. The whole aim of the miracle is to raise the level of communication, not to lower it by increasing fear.
Now, watch the ego, because the ego will come in there and say, oh, here's a way to improve your presence while your back is to the altar. Now you have a little tidbit of information. The whole aim of the miracle is to raise the level of communication. Well, I can grasp that. We're going to raise the level of communication. And now you set out to bless your brothers with your best idea of raising the level of communication. When what will actually raise the level of communication is not the words that you end up saying, but the love from which those words arise. And the only way love will give rise to words is if you have abandoned your independence and turned toward the altar and said, help. What is appropriate here? What fulfills capital P purpose. What will uncover God more clearly right here? The only way any of you can be effective teachers, effective agents for change, is when you realize that none of you have a personal capacity on your own to do good, period. That as long as you claim the right of independence from God, with the very strong belief that God has created you to be independent, you're just going to be rearranging the world. And you are going to further and extenuate the ignorance that you're already all suffering from. To be an effective teacher is to not attempt to be a teacher at all, but to be a humble servant. From the ego standpoint, a humiliated servant. Humility is a state in which there is no tension. Humility is a state in which the capacity to be forceful doesn't exist. Humility is where willfulness has been laid aside for willingness. Willingness to say, "Thy will be done." Why? Not so you can be controlled, but so that in the absence of your trying to be controlling, the divine way things work can register with you, and you can be in harmony with it, and thus be a presence who's constantly glorifying God by not glorifying anything else. In the absence of the attempt to glorify anything else, God is the only thing that can show up. Microphone.
When we first started talking about the body, it was talking about the beautiful temple, and then you talked about reinforcing the armament with steel, and is that the same activity, pretty much? I mean, whether we're making it a beautiful temple or whether we're reinforcing it with steel, it's the same activity.
As long as it's being done with your back to the altar.
Exactly.
It
So was
can't
just
be
sort of
anything else.
Giving us different options of the way that we turn our back to the altar.
And in all cases, it will be a form of defense. And if you get more holy and more spiritual, so that you are creating a beautiful temple, it's because you have found others to join with in the belief that such activity will protect you against something. It will protect you against violence. It will protect you against your ego. By thinking loving thoughts and expressing loving thoughts, it will protect you against the baser motives that are natural to human beings. And it might even cause I'm sorry, this is me, Paul. Oh, an evolutionary shift where mankind will start to move in a new direction, physically, of course, as part of the physical universe, as part of actual physical evolution. You see, this is still occurring in the realm of ignorance. It's still occurring without having even thought of or brought up the idea that there is a relationship between you and God, and there is a connection for you to be experiencing, and that when you turn around toward God and open up to that experience, that's going to bring you back into your right mind, where evolutionary jumps are nonsense. And where behaving nicely doesn't mean a heck of a lot more than behaving badly, except that it's a little bit more comfortable for you in your ignorance. I will tell you something, if everyone on this planet managed to find a mutually agreed upon way to work together harmoniously, everyone would be very grateful. And if given the opportunity to have 10,000 years to experience it, they would find ultimately that it would be an empty experience, because the connection with the altar would not have occurred yet, even though everyone worked together beautifully. And awakening, the evidence of atonement, would still be awaiting everyone. So at least tonight, everyone is a little bit clearer about what atonement isn't. And that's wonderful.
Raj, something that you don't that has occurred to me about what you're saying here this evening, about what you did when you washed the feet of indicating that we must be servants to each other. The ego can't wash the feet of another with love.
No, but it can feign love and wash the feet of others. Yes, you are right. You're here to serve others, but you won't be able to serve each other transformationally until you yourselves ask God how to serve each other transformationally. It's that simple.
What I meant when I brought this up is the feeling that comes when I turn to God and we do this together. It's the love.
Indeed.
Of that expression, I'm here to serve you.
That is truly benign, and therefore provides the best opportunity for the one you are serving to feel non-threatened and for his or her fear to be reduced and for confusion to fade and for intelligence to come to the fore and for learning to actually occur. Yes.
So it really becomes we and no longer I.
Absolutely. Yes.
The experience of these shifts going on in me, and the balance of the miracle scaring me is like right over here. I mean, it's like right at the edge of it. It's like if there was any more miracle going on, it would frighten me. And yet I can, and I read it in the book, and you say it, and we share our experiences. I mean, that's a lot. The feelings that come with this love that comes through. It's like, wow, it catches your attention, almost frightens you. I mean, we're all like right there on the edge of all we can stand, shifting as fast as we can right now.
Indeed. Indeed.
Judging everything less.
Yes.
More and more looks at the altar. It's working.
We can't do any of this without trust.
Right. And trust comes from leaning into the miracle and letting it transform you and convey your safety so that you relax a little bit more. There's a little less fear, and you can let in.
I have been privileged to be experiencing this of late,
Indeed.
and it's just totally amazing.
Just don't be too amazed. That's a wonderful block to more. Amazed, to stand in amazement is to say, in so many words, this is unbelievable.
That's yeah.
And that's a nice way to keep the unbelievable that's beyond what you've experienced from being let in and being believable.
That brings up a good point, because it's the next level of recognition of all these definitions or these habits of describing things.
Yes.
I mean, that's a very, very good point. Unbelievable. That declares it exactly what it is, which is not something I want to entertain.
Right.
Anyway.
Yes. We will call it an evening. We actually got through a whole section. Healing as release from fear. And release from fear occurs as you turn away from that which is fearsome and engages your ego responses, and turning toward the altar so that you might reconnect with the Father's love that's at the center of the altar, being all there is of you. And by turning toward it, you provide yourself with the opportunity of remembering yourself. And in remembering yourself and embracing it, you become the presence that transforms, and you come back into your right mind. Maybe only little by little, but the only reason it's little by little is because more will scare you shitless. I love you all.